let's talk about the Mackie SRM150. I've done kind of a string of negative reviews, products I don't like, products I've had issues with lately, so I thought, you know what, I need to look around the shop and find something that we use regularly and something that I like. So I picked this little guy. Now, I bought this probably, I'm going to say year and a half ago maybe. And what I bought it for and what I use it for are two different things. So what I bought it for was use as a DJ monitor. Because at the time, it was school dance season. And I found myself in gyms where, you know, it's bassy, it's boomy, audio's bouncing around. I couldn't really hear myself or, hear my mixing back and forth. And I'd pop my headphones on, and that's usually how I do it. But, I just thought, I'd kind of like to just try a little booth monitor, something right there where I can just turn it up a little bit, get some of the highs at me, not really looking for anything with excessive bass because I was already getting a ton of bass. I just wanted a little bit of clarity pop through so that I could hear what was happening with my mix as I was mixing it. And so I bought this. And I don't use it for that anymore. I'd still maybe pack it and bring it along if I felt like I needed a monitor. But truthfully, I haven't personally been doing too many DJ gigs. And on some really loud events, this just does not have the output. It gets to the point where if you're in a really loud room and you're using it as a monitor shooting at you, you really start to push it, and you can almost kind of just hear it you can almost hear it saying, I can't do it, Brian, I can't do it. I'm pushing myself as hard as I can. So I really don't use it for that anymore, but I'd still maybe bring it if I felt like I needed it just for the heck of it. But what we do use it for is a karaoke monitor. Karaoke gigs usually aren't super loud and thumping where I'm trying to hear over the bass that's all over in the room. But we picked up a new karaoke gig, and this karaoke gig has very serious karaoke singers. The first time we did not bring a monitor, and they insisted that there be a monitor. So I thought, what a better time than to use this thing. I don't put it on a stand, I actually just set it on the corner of the table and shoot it at the side of the karaoke singer. They're happy with it because they can hear what's happening. And it works well for that. I don't have to crank it up too loud. I throw the volume up about there. Also, one of the benefits of bringing this with, which actually one of the first times I brought this with, I was so glad I had it because the main mixer we use for karaoke is a Mackie Pro FX8 V2. I've done another review on that if you care to watch it. You can find it on my YouTube channel. But I actually forgot to bring that mixer, and I got to the gig and I was like, oh my God, I forgot to bring the mixer. And this gig's it's an hour and a half away. So I'm sitting there what do I do? They've got this old PV mixer that ties into their house sound system. It's at a casino, and the whole stage is hodgepodged. I end up unplugging their mixer, and I pop in, and I was like, man, how can I make their little PV thing without messing up their bingo setup? How can I make that work? And then I opened up the bag that this was in, and I was like, oh, 2-channel mixer. So the only issue that I had once I set it up, I was like, okay, I got headphone to RCA out of my laptop. I got 2 mics. I'm golden. So great system to have for a backup because I really needed it. The one downside I ran into is they run stereo there, and normally what we do is we unplug their mixer and use the 2 XLRs. Well, this one only has 1 XLR out in the back. So what I ended up doing was I unplugged their wireless mic and just ran our XLR through their mixer instead of taking their mixer out of the loop. Since then, what I did, because they don't have a very good mixer, and they actually keep a piece of cardboard taped over it that says "Do not touch." So I actually had to take a picture of it and make sure I put the mixer back exactly how it was, and then put the cardboard back down. But what I bought since then was just an XLR-Y cable, and I keep that packed in the tote. So if I ever have to, say the Pro FX8 fails on me for some reason, and I got to drop down to using this as my karaoke mixer, I've got a Y cable out here so I can split it into left and right and plug it into a house system. Now I will say, you know, Mackie came up with this, and I think this is more for like the coffee shop artist. I think that's kind of where it got developed, because there's a microphone stand adapter, and then you can attach the boom here and do your own mix as it's facing you, export it out to another speaker, and shoot the crowd with it. And I think it would have great applications for that as well. I obviously do not use it for that as that purpose. But I will say the one thing I think it's missing for that purpose and for just backup karaoke is just reverb. And you know, it's probably my one, it's not even a complaint, but kind of a feature enhancement wish for version 2 when they come out with it. Is just, you know, I'm not asking for like the Mackie Pro FX2, like, oh, we've got 15 different effects you can choose from, but just like one reverb knob would be really nice. And you know, even if you couldn't mix it between, obviously this is a highly simplified thing, but just maybe reverb that just affects the mic inputs or something, and just like one knob, just turn it up, and the effects return is all internal, you know. Just something simple. Obviously you don't want reverb on the RCA inputs, I don't need reverb on the music tracks, but, and actually for the coffee shop guy that probably wouldn't work now that I'm thinking about it, because you're plugging your guitar into one, you're plugging your vocals into the other. You don't want to have your guitar with a bunch of reverb on it along with your vocals. So now I'm talking myself out of the feature upgrade. Somehow I'm turning this mixer into a way more in-depth mixer. That's why I'm not a speaker engineer. I've got wishes. It's definitely up to Mackie to make it happen. But that's the one thing I would say it's missing, is just a little bit of reverb. But other than that, you know, I mean, it works great as a karaoke monitor. Not quite loud enough for a club DJ for a monitor. I would say you'd want something a little bit bigger. If I was gonna go out and buy a monitor to use for DJing, you know, I really want the tabletop monitor. You know, I move around a lot when I DJ, and I hate having a floor monitor. I've tried that, and I turn and I'm tripping over the monitor. So I really like the idea of a tabletop monitor just kind of kicking right back at me, and this actually has kind of a nice little kickback in it. I don't know if you can tell if my hands are in the way, but it does angle up slightly, so it's perfect to have on the table. And I like having the volume knobs right in front. Can reach over, just grab it, turn it off if I don't want the monitor blaring at me. It just, for most applications in a loud club environment, I would say it does not get loud enough. But coffee shop musician, karaoke show, anything that's not crazy loud with super thumping bass, this thing's perfect. If you're in the market for a small portable monitor system, you know, I would say this is it right here. I definitely like it. I can't really say too much negative about it, except it's not, you know, just not quite loud enough for a club environment. But thing's tiny. I wouldn't really expect it to be. You know, that's what I bought it for, but I knew I liked it enough not to sell it. Even though it wasn't going to work exactly for what I wanted to use it for when I bought it, I knew I liked it enough not to get rid of it, and that I would find a use for it. It's on our rental site. I've never had anyone rent it. I think Mackie says, you know, you can use it for like, you know, conferences or something if you need a little PA to speak into. It's possible that might work. If I was going to do that situation, I'd probably bring the Turbo Sound IP500 instead. You know, instead of having this just sit on a table, I'd rather have something. The IP500's nice. It's going to get over everybody, cover the room nicely. So I don't think I would use it in like a corporate audio situation. Definitely more as a monitor. And if you're going to use it as a mixer, reverb would be nice. But it's not built in. But it does have instrument input, phantom power. It's a good little mixer. If you have any questions about this mixer, throw it down in the comments section. So far reliability has been pretty good on it. Sometimes Mackie is not quite the best for reliability. I actually bought a used one of these off of eBay, and somebody decided to ship me a broken one. But I emailed them about it, and I was like, hey, you sent me a speaker that doesn't work. They gave me a refund, and then I just was like, well, I'll just buy a new one. And this one works good, keeps kicking week after week. We only use it one night a week, Saturday, but it just keeps kicking. All right, have a good day.